Okay, so hope you all are good. Today we are going to discuss one chapter in zoology, that is the animal kingdom. And weightage of this question in as per the NEET 2024 is 4 questions. So today I am going to say about non-chordates. Today I am going to say about the non-chordates, and I will try to say up to the S Kelvin, but we will discuss about the non-chordates. I will say one by one about all. So first we have to discuss that every classification it needs one hierarchy. Every classification it needs one hierarchy. How to classify the organism? How to classify the organism? So what is the sequence we are using in hierarchy? Kingdom, phylum, class, order, family, genus, species. How many steps in hierarchy? How many taxa in hierarchy? Kingdom, phylum, class, order, family, genus, species. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. You have to remember these in a sequential way. How to remember this sequential way? I have written. You have to remember one short form. Keep pots clean, otherwise family gets spoiled. Keep pots clean, otherwise family gets spoiled. So you have to remember the taxa in hierarchy. What is the first taxa? Kingdom, K for kingdom, P for phylum, C for class, O for order, F for family, G for genus, and S for the species. Keep pots clean, otherwise family gets spoiled. This hierarchy is very important because if I will try to write the systemic position of us, systemic position of human beings. So how to write the systemic position in human beings? Please try to say with me. Okay, say me, what is the name of the kingdom? This one is the name of the kingdom in human beings, that is the animal kingdom. Animal kingdom, that is also known as the Animalia. Animal kingdom, that is also known as the Animalia. Animal kingdom, also known as the Animalia. What is the phylum? Phylum is the Chordata. What is the phylum? Phylum is the Chordata. Kingdom is the Animalia. Phylum is the Chordata. What is the class? Class of human beings, that is the Mammalia. Mammalia. Order is the primates. Mammalia. Order is the primates. I think it is known by you. The class Mammalia is having the 3 subclasses. Class Mammalia is having the 3 subclasses: Prototheria, Metatheria, Eutheria. Only for your knowledge I am saying, class Mammalia is having the 3 classes: Prototheria, okay, one is the Prototheria, second one that is the Metatheria, and third one that is the Eutheria. Prototheria, Metatheria, Eutheria. Eu means true, they are the true mammals. Eu means true, they are the true mammals. Meta means they are having one pouch like kangaroo, and proto means primitive, they are the egg laying mammals. They are the egg laying mammals which are known as the proto. They are the egg laying mammals which are known as the proto. So this is the one. Family of human beings, you have to remember, that is the Hominidae. Family is the Hominidae. Genus is the Homo, and species is the Sapiens. So this is the systemic classification of us. I have taken the example of human beings. Please try to say with me. Human beings, we are included in kingdom Animalia. our phylum is the Chordata, class is the Mammalia, order is the primates, that is the topmost order, and order Primata including only three. One is the ape, second one is the monkey, and second one, that third one, that is the human. Human, man, ape and monkey, three included. Family is the Hominidae. Species is the, what is the genus Homo, and what is the species here, that is the Sapiens. So I said everything we are writing in a systematic way, that is known as the hierarchy of classification. I said, what is about the human being? Say along with me. Kingdom Animalia, phylum Chordata, class Mammalia, order Primata, family Hominidae, genus Homo, and species Sapiens. Clear? So this is the classification of human being. So whenever we will discuss any animal in detail, we have to write first one. What I said, we have to write the first one, systemic position. Systemic position, where it is included, that is known as the systemic position. We will write the systemic position of any organism. Okay. So now this is the one point that you have to remember. Now I am going to say how many phylums we have to read in a sequence. How many phylums we have to read in a sequence? I will say one by one. Say along with me. Porifera, Coelenterata, Ctenophora. Porifera, Coelenterata, Ctenophora. For Coelenterata, they use the term Cnidaria, Platyhelminth, Aschelminth, Annelida, Arthropoda, Mollusca, Echinodermata, Hemichordata, Chordata. So we have to remember how many phylum? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Are you getting? We have to discuss how many phylum? 11 phylum. We have to discuss the 11 phylum. So I said, what are the 11 phylum we have to discuss? I will say in a sequence. Please repeat with me. Porifera, Coelenterata, Ctenophora, Platyhelminth, Aschelminth, Annelida, Arthropoda, Mollusca, Echinodermata, Hemichordata, Chordata. These are the 11 phylums we have to discuss one by one. Okay. So I am coming on the first phylum, that is known as the Porifera. I am coming on the first phylum, that is known as the Porifera. Porifera. What is the meaning of Porifera? Poriferans means they are the pores bearing animals. First of all, you have to remember a difference. I will say there is one term that is known as the protozoa, and there is one term that is known as the metazoa. One term is the protozoa, one term that is known as the metazoa. Protozoa, they are the unicellular. Metazoa, they are the multicellular. Like if I will say amoeba, paramecium, euglena, plasmodium, they all are unicellular. They are unicellular, so they are not included. They are not included in animal kingdom. Not included in animal kingdom. So all the organisms which are included in metazoa or animal kingdom, they all are metazoans, multicellular. Multicellularity is the first basic criteria to increase an organism into the kingdom Animalia. Without exception, all the animals are multicellular. So I said we have to learn in a sequence. What I said, what are poriferans? They are the first multicellular animals. They are the poriferans. first multicellular animals, they are the poriferans. So see, if I will draw a simple diagram related with the porifera, try to see this picture. Poriferans are the pores breathing animals. Poriferans are the pores breathing animals like this, and they are known as the poriferans because on body surface small pores are present. So small pores present on body surface, small pores present on body surface, these small pores are known as the ostia. What is the meaning of porifera? Porifera means pores bearing animals. Pores bearing animals, they are known as the porifera. Small pores present on body surface known as the ostia, and the big pore present at the anterior side of the body, that is known as the osculum. Small pores present on body surface, please draw this diagram, very simple diagram you have to remember. Small pores present on body surface known as the ostia, whereas a big pore present on the outer, that is the osculum. This layer is the pinacoderm. It is having the pinacocytes, and this layer is the choanoderm. Choanoderm, why it is known as the choanoderm? Because it is having the choanocytes. What are choanocytes? They are the flagellated. They are the flagellated collar cells. They are the choanocytes, flagellated collar cells. So this is the one point you have to remember related with the porifera. I have done the basic structure. This is the one point. How many animals of phylum porifera? They are known as the sponges because of their soft appearance. Just see what are the examples included in phylum porifera. You have to remember 3 examples of NCERT. One, that is known as the cycon, Scypha. I am just on the side because you are able to see the pictures carefully or clearly. See, I will come on this side. See, first one, that is the cycon, Scypha. Second one, that is the spongilla, freshwater sponge. And next one, that is the Euspongia, known as the bath sponge. So this is the first phylum of animal kingdom that you have to remember, porifera. Now I am coming on the very important second phylum. This is the second phylum, that is known as the Cnidaria. Cnidaria. What is the name of the second phylum? That is the Cnidaria. And they are known as the coelenterata because they are having the coelentron. One cavity, that is coelentron, known as the gastrovascular cavity. They are having coelentron. Coelentron means gastrovascular cavity. Gastro means stomach. Vascular means circulation. This cavity is related with the digestion, you can say like this, digestion, and circulation. That is why this cavity is known as the gastrovascular cavity. Gastrovascular cavity, it is related with the digestion and circulation, as the coelentron or gastrovascular cavity is present. That is why the animals of this phylum are known as the coelenterata. Okay. Now, why it is known as the coelenterata? Because they are having a specific cell known as the cnidoblast. So on the basis of cnidoblast, the name is given as the Cnidaria. Cnidaria. Animals, those who are having the cnidoblast, they are included in phylum Cnidaria. Those who are having cnidoblast, they are included in phylum Cnidaria. Cnidaria, they are very important cells which are present in coelenterata. If you will see, this is the structure of one cnidoblast. Cnidoblast, they are performing the different function. Cnidoblast are the cells which are present in Coelenterata. Cnidoblast, they are the cells which are present in Coelenterata. Cnidoblast, they are the cells which are present in Coelenterata. They are performing many functions. Now we have to discuss so many things related with the Coelenterata. Basic thing that you have to remember, that are the examples of phylum Coelenterata. First, see, this is the first very common example known by every student, Hydra. Hydra is known as the freshwater polyp. Hydra, it is known as the freshwater polyp. That is the Hydra, freshwater polyp. Please see all the examples carefully. That's why I came on the side, so you are able to see clearly. Second one, that is the Physalia, that is known as the Portuguese man of war. Physalia, Portuguese man of war. Physalia, Portuguese man of war. Adamsia, sea anemone. Adamsia, known as the sea anemone. Adamsia. Pennatula, it is looking like a pen. It is known as the sea pen. Sea pen is the Pennatula. Sea pen is the Pennatula. Gorgonia, it is looking like a fan. That is why it is known as the sea fan. Sea fan is known as the Gorgonia. Sea fan, Gorgonia. Okay, it is also Gorgonia, sea fan. Meandriana is known as the brain coral because its structure is similar as the human brain, looking like as human brain, so it is the brain coral. Obelia is known as the sea fur. Aurelia is known as the jellyfish. And one question is coming, how many oral arms it is having? Yes, this is the diagram of NCERT, so they are having 1, 2, 3, 4 oral arms are there. That is Aurelia, jellyfish. Corallium, it is used as a precious stone, that is the precious red coral. So, and very important, in the life cycle of Coelenterata, there are two stages. One stage is known as the polyp and another stage is known as the medusa. Polyp stage is there and medusae stage is also there. Polyp is the asexual phase of life and medusae is the sexual phase of life. So, in Coelenterata, the polyp is converted into medusae. Medusae is converted into polyp. This is known as a process that is known as the metagenesis. We will discuss this process in detail when you will be at Sri Chaitanya. Polyp converted into medusae, medusae converted into polyp. How the polyp is converted into medusae? By a process of asexual reproduction. How the medusae converted into polyp? By a process of sexual reproduction. So, the coelentrates, those who are having both the stages in their life cycle, they are showing one wonderful phenomena, that is a type of alternation of generation, that is known as the metagenesis. What I said, the coelentrates, those who are having both the stages polyp and medusae, they are showing a type of alternation of generation, and this process is known as the metagenesis. Metagenesis is a type of alternation of generation. Clear? So, this is one you have to remember about the Coelenterata. After the Coelenterata, I am coming on phylum number 3, that is the Ctenophora, and here I have written they are the exclusively marine. Why I have written they are the exclusively marine? Because just see, previously we have discussed the two phylum. First phylum, that is the Porifera. Second phylum, that is the Coelenterata. they are mostly marine. They are mostly marine, but they are having exception. In Porifera, one exception is there is the Spongilla. Spongilla, yes, very good. Spongilla. Spongilla is known as the freshwater sponge. It is known as the freshwater sponge, that is the Spongilla. Spongilla is known as the freshwater sponge. And in Coelenterata there is one big exception, that is the Hydra. Hydra, that is known as the freshwater polyp. Hydra is known as the freshwater polyp. So please note it down very carefully that Ctenophora, we have written exclusively marine because all animals of this phylum are marine. There is no exception. In Porifera there is one exception, Spongilla, freshwater sponge. In Coelenterata there is one exception, Hydra, freshwater polyp. Polyp means only one phase is dominant in life, that is the asexual phase. So this is the one that you have to remember. Another property related with the Ctenophora, that is the property of bioluminescence, light emitting property known as the bioluminescence. So it is observed in the animals of phylum Ctenophora. There are few examples: Pleurobrachia, Ctenoplana, Harmifora, Cestum. Okay, this is one picture given in NCERT. On the body surface of Ctenophora, 8, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 ciliated comb plates are present, which are helpful in the process of locomotion. What are they? They are the tentacles. Clear? Now coming on the next phylum, that is known as the Platyhelminth. Helminth means worms-like structure. Platy means flat. The animals of this phylum are dorsoventrally flat. Like I am having this remote. This is dorsal side, this is here dorsal side. So dorsoventrally it is flat. The animals of this phylum are dorsoventrally flat. That is why they are known as the flatworm. So what is the meaning of Platyhelminth? Platy means flat, helminth means worms. They are the dorsoventrally flat animals which are known as the Platyhelminth. Dorsoventrally flat, they are dorsoventrally flat, so known as the Platyhelminth. If you will see, very interesting, in Porifera, cellular level of organization. In Coelenterata and Ctenophora, tissue level of organization. In Platyhelminth, initially that is the organ, and in developed Platyhelminth, organ system level of organization is present. In Platyhelminth, first of all, they are the triploblastic. Triploblastic means they are derived from 3 germ layers. They are derived from 3 germ layers, that is the ectoderm, mesoderm and endoderm. What is the type of body cavity in Platyhelminth? They are the acoelomates. Platyhelminth, they are the acoelomates. What is the meaning of acoelomates? The space between ectoderm and endoderm, it is occupied by the solid mesoderm. See the diagram carefully towards the board. On the innermost side, this is the gut. Gut is always lined by a layer of endoderm. So what is this? This is the endoderm. What is this? This is the endoderm. The name of the outermost layer like this. The name of the outermost layer like this. This is the outermost layer. And the name of the outermost layer, this is the ectoderm. So here between endoderm and ectoderm, what is present? If I will draw by different color, between ectoderm and endoderm, what is present? It is the solid mesoderm. What is present? It is the solid mesoderm. Solid mesoderm is present. That is why they are the triploblastic. They are having the 3 layers: ectoderm, endoderm, mesoderm, but there is no space between ectoderm and endoderm. It means it is the solid mesoderm. The space is occupied by the solid mesoderm. They are endoparasite. They are found in human beings also. Very common, known by you, tinea, tapeworm. Clear? Second one, fasciola, that is known as the liver fluke. What is the meaning of fluke? The meaning of fluke means leaf-like structure. The meaning of fluke means leaf-like structure. This you have to remember. Meaning of fluke means leaf-like structure. They are looking like leaf. If I will draw like this, they are looking like leaf. So they are the leaf-like structure. They are the platyhelminth, leaf-like structure. Clear? They are the leaf-like structure. Schistosoma. 3 example you have to remember: Tinea solium, fasciola, and third one, that is the schistosoma. Now coming on next phylum, Aschelminth. Aschelminth, they are also worms. Why they are known as the Aschelminth? Their common name is the roundworm. The common name of Aschelminth, that is the roundworm. Why they are known as the Aschelminth? Because in cross section they are looking circular. They are circular in cross section. When we are cutting, when we are taking the TS, when we are taking the transverse section of these worms, in transverse section they are looking circular. So that is why the name is given as the Aschelminth or the roundworm. Aschelminth or roundworm, they are having the pseudocoelom. Pseudocoelom. Are you remembering the diagram of pseudocoelom? See, say along with me. This is gut. Gut is always lined by the endoderm. This is endoderm. Outermost layer, that is the ectoderm. What is this? This is the ectoderm. And here, if I will say between the endoderm and ectoderm, the mesoderm is present in the form of scattered patches. Mesoderm is present in the form of scattered pouches. So what are they? They are the scattered patches of mesoderm. They are the scattered patches of mesoderm. They all are the scattered patches of mesoderm. So this is the one point, Aschelminth, roundworm, and this is most important class of this phylum, Nematoda. If I will say one very common example, Ascaris, roundworm, and here male and female Ascaris. Male and female Ascaris, they are showing the sexual dimorphism. Sexual dimorphism. What is sexual dimorphism? Identification of the sex of individual on the basis of external character. Male Ascaris is short with curved tail like this. Female Ascaris is long with straight tail. So this is the one very important point you have to remember related with Ascaris. Buceraria bancrofti, it is the filarial worm. It is causing the filariasis. Filariasis. I think you know filariasis well by a term that is known as the elephantiasis. Elephantiasis or elephantiasis. Okay. Now ancylostoma, it is known as the hookworm. Okay. These are the two pictures given in NCERT. So today we have discussed Porifera, Coelenterata, Ctenophora, Platyhelminth, Aschelminth. In the next class, I will show you all the example, plus I will say about Annelida, Arthropoda, Mollusca, Echinodermata, Hemichordata, about the 5 phylum. Collect your queries, your doubts, send me. I will solve all the queries in the class. Okay, thank you very much. We will meet again. Thank you, thank you, thank you.